Hello and welcome to another episode of For the Love of Sports. My name is Michael Rasile. This is a show where we get to talk about business, we get to talk about sports, we get to talk about everything in between. Wherever you're listening, however you're listening, you know exactly what to do. Like and subscribe on YouTube, 5-star review on Spotify, and say something really nice about me and my incredible guest over on Apple Podcasts. Today I have Garrett Bernardo. He's the CEO of NOVUS Custom Sportswear and Apparel. Garrett, how you doing today, man?
Doing well. Thanks, Michael. Appreciate you having me on.
Pleasure is all mine. Appreciate Marlon for connecting us. That guy is the absolute man. Garrett, very excited to get to talk to you about your company, what you guys are doing, the purpose, the passion, the drive, the athletes, the sports, all of it, dude. It all sounds incredible. But first question we have for everybody on the For the Love of Sports podcast is, why do you love sports so much?
Oh man, I grew up around it. Sports is in my DNA. So I think growing up as a kid, my dad was my biggest role model. He actually played professionally a little bit in the Rangers organization.
Nice. Baseball
So
or hockey? Let's make
baseball,
sure. Okay, cool.
yeah, baseball, and just kind of always looked up to him. My older brother Nick, who I run the company with, we were always, playing ball together in the yard, and actually I have a couple other siblings too that, it was just around the family. So like playing baseball, basketball, football, skating, like we were always just into sports. So been around it my whole life, and I mean, who doesn't love sports?
Exactly, man. Who doesn't? It's so much easier. I'd rather talk about anything business related if it's related to sports, right? It's way cooler to talk about that than like consumer packaged goods or pharmaceutical companies, right? Like that's like, see, it's what I always say. Like I could do the exact same thing in another industry, I just wouldn't like it nearly as much. So grateful what we're doing here, man, and very excited to understand a little bit more about what you guys are doing. So you guys, so you say you have other siblings. Are they a part of the company at all? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I think by default, the family's kind of all in behind what we do, but they're not technically employees, but they're always going to be members of the Novice family. And who knows, maybe in the future.
One
Uh,
day.
yeah, but Nick and I, this was the side hustle in college with our buddy Scott that just kind of blossomed, and we've been very blessed and fortunate the way it's grown over the years.
That is awesome, man. Yeah, those are always cool stories. So I guess like yeah, let's just start there. Like, so you guys start this in college. You want to
Yeah.
start with sports apparel, helping teams, leagues, whomever out, right? I guess like where does this idea come from, and I guess why? What's the why behind all of it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think even before the why, we just like, I guess, yeah, like I said, we love sports growing up. We loved playing sports. Nick and I were playing baseball at the University of Maine, and Scott, our third partner, was playing lacrosse at Rutgers. And little did we know his background was, sports fanatic, playing pretty much everything, football, hockey. He was just a sports fanatic. But it was when Nick and I were playing summer baseball in a league in New Jersey, and we were subleasing Scott's apartment, where this whole idea of making some tanks and crew neck sweatshirts to sell to our teammates became a thing.
I love
So,
that. I'm sorry, I have to stop you because I also went to Rutgers, so I'm curious, where was this apartment?
the Birchwoods.
Oh, there you go. Not too bad. I love it. Good stuff. Hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah, I mean, it was great.
I know it was. It was a blast. I hope
Yeah,
for everyone's
there
sake, but
there was a lot of good spots to eat around there.
that's
That
true.
was not the healthiest food, but it was a lot of good shakes and
College, come on, that's easy.
football
Anyway,
and
sorry,
stuff.
didn't
Yeah,
mean to derail you. I had to ask. But awesome, man.
yeah,
So you got the idea starts with wanting to sell crew necks and tank tops, as you said, to your teammates. So we'll get back on there.
yeah. So essentially, it started out like we were printing a crown logo that we had Scott's brother make on T-shirts, on tank tops, crew necks, and then the word novice was Latin for fresh. So
Love it.
yeah, fresh or new beginnings, which being a Latin word, it should be pronounced novus, and we just, I guess, couldn't read, so we pronounced novice, and yeah, it was really like Scott going around his locker room and selling at Rutgers, and then Nick and I were up at UMaine and felt like, hey, we could sell these up at Maine, and it started with just, red and navy crew necks going around the locker room, asking the teammates, you want red or navy? Not necessarily do you want one, it's what color. What color are you getting? So, and our teammates were really gracious to support us, because it was just, a simple gilded blank, screen print, and we
Nice.
slapped our logo on there. So
Love it,
nothing,
dude.
nothing crazy. Selling them for $15, and then eventually bumping the price $5, sell it for 20, and just building our pot, literally off of like a $240, uh, investment on our side of buying the tanks and crews. So it was yeah, it wasn't like too long after that we started to realize like people on campus were asking, when's the new novice gear coming out, and I'd be scribbling designs in my notebook, and just like, oh, in a couple of weeks, like, just you wait, we'll have something new out. And really, it was kind of with that I started to realize, like, we might have something here. People are, you know, taking notice and wanting it. And so I thought, if we're gonna do something, like, we got to put a mission behind it. And that's really when I started to think a little bit deeper, and we had this crown as a logo. Um, and I thought of this poster in Nick and I's childhood bedroom, that it was a football poster with the headline "Never, never give up," and then there was a Bible verse from James 1:12 that said, "Blessed are those who persevere under trial, for having stood the test, they will receive the crown of life that God promises to those who love Him." And so I thought of that verse, and I said, wow, that's been like a verse that stuck with us. That's been our whole story, our life of, persevering in trial and living with conviction. And we came up with the mantra "Claim Your Crown" off of that. And we felt like this could be something that, anybody could get behind, like, living a life of passion, doing what you love, and conviction, like always believing that there's meaning in your work and purpose. And then perseverance, like never quitting, never giving up. And essentially, like, that's the story of Novice in a nutshell, in terms of just, we combined our passions of sports and building relationships, our faith, and then really just have always believed that there is something here that's got a deeper meaning, and then never giving up on the journey, which has led us to go from college side hustle to now outfitting, high schools, colleges, AAU programs, travel teams, professional athletes, and organizations across the nation. So um, we've been like really blessed and fortunate that we've kind of attracted an audience that believes in playing with purpose, believing in that, that their story has meaning. And that's really like at the heart of the brand, is just everyone does have a story that has meaning, and we really want to inspire people to claim their crown.
I love that, dude. That's a sweet tagline. Yeah, I like that
Yeah,
a lot, and the meaning behind it, right? It's that poster that's been in your room forever, and you're
yeah,
you're kind of looking at it, thinking, "Wait a second, like it's been there forever, right?" You probably looked at it a million times, read it 100,000 times. You could probably, in your sleep, you can recite it, but then it's like it kind of hits one day, and it's like, "Damn, wait a
yeah,
second, that's pretty cool, right?" And then you're able to start connecting these dots to like get to where you are now. I just think that is a really cool way, really fortuitous way of being able to kind of start something like this. As you said, I think that's awesome, man. So kudos and congratulations to you guys. That's really
yeah.
cool.
No, thank you. Yeah, we're very fortunate, and excited, just excited to keep dreaming with it. So
Hell yeah, dude. No, I love it. And so I guess so. As you said, you started with selling, t- uh, you know, uh, merchandise apparel to your teammates, right? When
right,
like when does it become real, I guess? What did you guys need to do for you to be like, yeah, this is more like this can be our career. This can be our
yeah,
business. We can make money and help people, right? Like as you said, like the whole passion, the purpose behind it is to help people understand that their story means something, whether it's to them or somebody else. And yeah,
right.
you could keep slinging t-shirts, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with making a dollar, man. I'm all for it. But like where along the line did you realize that like this could be more than just, simply putting your logo on something, putting a tagline and calling it a day?
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, I think we kind of had like a little light bulb unlock moment in like the middle of our college years. Like our younger brother was playing travel baseball, and then one of our good friends out of New Jersey had like a Ukrainian soccer team, and he was like, "Hey, could I do like novice shirts for my soccer team?" And then we're thinking maybe we could make jerseys for our brother's 8-year-old travel team.
Hell yeah.
And all of a sudden we were like, instead of selling one or two crew necks at a time, what if we sold 12 pieces at a time, for a team? And we were like, this could be a vehicle for us to really get our brand and our product out there and our message to just outfit teams, in the custom apparel route. So once we started to think in that lane, it was developing a website where we could host, team stores and team apparel with the uniforms on it. And we kind of transformed our website from just selling like the hat or the tank or the tee to building out an online storefront for, a travel baseball team or a travel soccer team, basketball. So it was like on a very small scale, like, you know what, like if we can do this for multiple programs, we could actually, bring in some money to make this something that we might be able to do as a career.
And
So
how do you break into that market though, right? I remember when I'm thinking from when I was a little younger, and I remember when my brother's 8-year-old team, like they were getting their jerseys and everything. They like the travel team's jerseys were a little nicer than your rec team jerseys for sure. And like
yeah.
there was that one place in town that would make all the jerseys for all the sports leagues, right? Like that's kind of got to be a harder thing to break into. Was it as simple just like going to the coach and being like, "Hey, can we make your jerseys? You pay us money?" It's like, well, we already have a deal with these guys. Why should we be giving you guys any money? Like how do those first couple conversations go, and how are they so easy, I guess?
Yeah, well, I think it's probably twofold. Number one, the product had to be good.
Yeah.
So we
Sorry, Gildan, no offense, but
yeah, yeah. So, the cool part of the story is our third partner, Scott, helped us get connected with factories overseas. And pretty early on, we took a trip over to Dubai to visit with our
whoa.
manufacturers.
All right. There you go. And you guys are
And,
like 20.
and yeah, we're out of college at this point.
Okay.
So we're out of
22.
college, and yeah, we meet up with our manufacturers, and we're like looking at materials, and we're starting to like just kind of learn the whole world of apparel, and really learning it because we were excited about it. We didn't go to school for fashion or anything. We thought, making sports uniforms was pretty cool, but it was literally because we thought it was cool, we were learning about it. So just literally being able to like take inspiration from a coach of like, hey, make us a Houston Astros inspired jersey, and being able to translate that to a uniform, that felt good, like had good material, and kind of using our background as collegiate athletes that understood what players might want. That played into it for sure. Um, but yeah, I'd say it was like having a product that people were excited about, that was different, that felt different, that allowed you to customize it at a level that they hadn't been used to. So like not stock. Um, and then relationships. Like it was just the power of relationships where we our coaches from growing up, literally from, the travel teams we played on, high school coaches, they were the ones giving us our shot at the very beginning, or family friends. So those are the real heroes in helping the dream, get out the gate, is just taking a chance on us saying, hey, I don't necessarily know if your product's any good, but I believe in you, that kind of stuff. So um, I always like to say, like, you just never know who you're talking to, in different points of your journey, because they might just be the person that gives you an opportunity to make something happen someday. So um, very much was like the story, my travel baseball team that I grew up playing on. I remember them choosing to go with us over Nike for uniforms, and that was just a boost of confidence. I was like, wow, if we can do this for this team, we could do it for anyone. So it was moments like that where like, okay, let's continue to learn about building the best products and offering, a service that people weren't used to getting in terms of customization and like delivering on our word and just responding to people, being attentive to their needs or their asks or their desires or wants, and then yeah, building the relationship. So
That's awesome, man. Well, good for you guys. Beating Nike, that's got to be just like feather in the cap right there. First time of many, I hope, that has and will continue to happen. But yeah, I totally agree with you, man. Just be nice to people. It's usually like a really easy like kind of philosophy to have. Is like you don't know, like this person's kid might be on a travel baseball team that needs uniforms one day. Like you just kind of like have to
yeah,
remember that about everybody. Yeah, some people are going to be dicks. It is what it is. But like
yeah,
I'd say most people are good at heart, at least in my opinion. And it seems like following down that path is fantastic, and have understanding kind of the passion behind it, and I guess the purpose. Right, we've been talking about that a little bit.
yeah,
Has that how has that helped you been able to connect, if at all, help you connect with people? Right, like community athletics, church leagues, like all that kind of stuff. Was that kind of an area that you guys focused on? Private high schools, that type
yeah,
of
yeah,
um,
yeah, absolutely.
demographic.
I think you know doing something that you actually believe in, and like having it authentic to who you are just makes talking about it like second nature. So for us, like we grew up with our faith was super important to us, and kind of the guiding, it's been the guiding force behind everything that we've been doing. So, um, taking our passions for sports and then saying, we actually believe that playing baseball or like coaches that are coaching young kids dreaming to play in the big leagues, they have a role in like inspiring the younger players to become who they could actually want to be, or just like influencing them to make the most of opportunities. So it was kind of just seeing like the bigger purpose in all of like the work that we're doing, not necessarily like every kid is should become a major league baseball player, but hey, like the work ethic that it takes to try to achieve those things could translate to other areas of your life and make an impact on your teammates or on the profession you end up getting into. So it was just yeah, like really like knowing that that was like who we were, and then reaching out to people that kind of shared that similar mindset. We started to attract athletes that shared that same mentality of like, regardless of them being a pro athlete, they're like, I just conduct myself with a discipline where I think there's meaning in, waking up early and working out, and, working hard in the classroom, but being a good person outside of the classroom. So it was just resonating with like the deeper meaning behind your daily why, what gets you up in the morning, what inspires you to treat someone with kindness. And that's just been really exciting to see. And definitely the different faith groups and communities, the Catholic schools, um, we've been able to really do some amazing work with. But also, like I said before, we think claim your crown is a universal message, not just people that might share our same faith, but anybody that's trying to overcome challenges, and achieve their dreams. So we really preach like the story itself has a lot of meaning, and we let God kind of do the rest with what he wants to do with the relationships he brings us.
I love it, man. Yeah, I think that's such a I don't want to say easy because right, it's never easy. It sounds easy. It's not actually easy, but a great way to be able to connect with people because it is super authentic to you guys, and we all know authenticity wins out. It doesn't matter. Sales, marketing, whatever you want to call it, authenticity is always going to win. And if you're able to connect with people on that level that resonates with you and them, it's just going to bring you one step closer to your goals. And it seems like it's been doing a great job. So kudos and congratulations to you guys
Thank, thank
one
you.
more time with that. So I guess I'm kind of curious, right? So we start out with a couple of these smaller teams, leagues, your brother's friends, your friend's brother, right? Like, we're still kind of like, we're still kind of really close, a couple degrees away. When did you start? Like, what was that first big get? Was it
Oh
that
yeah,
time you beat Nike out, or was it like, well, that was kind of cool? But like, what was that first one? You're like, holy
yeah,
shit! Wait a second. Like,
yeah,
okay, this is good.
yeah. No, so yeah, there was definitely that like light bulb moment with transitioning into the custom world and outfitting
Hmm.
teams. But I think once we were into that space, it was starting to, dream big of like how, to what level could we actually bring our brand or to, take our product? Like who's going to believe in Novice enough to give us a shot to actually make a splash? And again, like the power of relationships. One of my buddies who I had met through uh, a very close friend, one of my best friends now, out in California, was playing with the Rockies organization, and he was a top draft pick. And long story short, he was at spring training wearing one of our hoodies, uh, just in like the cafeteria, and the player development director comes over to him while he's eating. He's like, Dave, what are you wearing? Like, what is that? And Dave, being the guy that he is like, oh, this hoodie, this is Novice. You don't know Novice? And
Nice. Shout
really,
out, Dave.
really, yeah. Shout out Dave. Really plays us up. Long story short, I end up getting a call, and I missed it, which is funny, but I get a voicemail from the equipment manager of the Colorado Rockies, and he's like, "Hey Garrett, talk to Dave about these hoodies. Would love to get something going for the players and staff." That goes on to become a 240 piece order, at least a couple hundred hoodies for the Rockies. And yeah, not long after that, I see players and staff on the Rockies rocking our product. And so this is like before I knew at the world of licensing. I was like,
Hmm.
can we even do this? And then,
Yeah.
they're like, we're buying it for us. So like we can do anything. So I was like, all right, so we're doing it. And then that was definitely just a big kind of feat and dream for me to like get into the professional ranks. And um I always grew up wanting to be an MLB baseball player. So I kind of took that as like, wow, God really allowed me to make it there via the
Hmm.
apparel vehicle. So that was like a big moment, just seeing the check with the Rockies logo come in, and made out to Novice, and that was just fun. So getting that, and then kind of feeding off that energy into working with more professional athletes, and getting orders from other pro teams. I mean, now we've been able to work with a number of pro teams. We just recently sent down an order of polos to the Charlotte Hornets. Uh,
Nice.
so we've been in like the MLB and the NHL and the NBA. So we'll see where it all leads. But it was definitely affirming to go from the locker room in college to essentially the locker room in the pros.
Yeah. Yeah, you made it. An
Yeah,
interesting route, but damn, dude, you guys made it, and
yeah,
that's pretty damn cool. So kudos, shout out the Rockies organization, and then everyone else that keeps buying your stuff. Obviously,
yeah,
you got some cool stuff going on, so it makes sense that they're gonna want to do that. That is really interesting. You brought up like the licensing piece of it, and as you said, like it's like a little. I'm not gonna say muddy waters, but it's definitely interesting, right? But like the people, like the Rockies are buying it for themselves; they're not buying it to sell it. So like, there's that whole like it's cool. We want you to wear it. Go to the
yeah.
site. Don't forget, you can buy more there. It's like it's a
Right.
really interesting interesting dynamic, right? Because you don't want Nike and Adidas and whomever. I
Yeah,
think their lawyers probably could do a little bit of damage, and we don't want to deal with any of that. We don't want any of that, man.
yeah. No, and that's kind of we've always kind of presented ourselves as like we're able to bring a specialty product, customized to a level that we feel like we can zig and zag around what the stock offering is. So we've been able to, I think, yeah, when you build a good product and it's desirable, people are going to find a way to get it on their players. So
Absolutely, man. If it looks cool, it feels good. People will
yeah,
get it. It's a pretty easy. People are gonna buy it, man. It's not rocket science at that point. You guys did all the hard work. Now let people enjoy it. So we talked about some of these team deals a little bit. Have you guys done anything like just individually with athletes, whether that's professional and a little NIL? Like, how do you guys look at like the athlete partnership realm to make sure you're getting your product just out in front of as many people as possible?
yeah. I mean, from the athlete side of things, we look for the athletes that we feel like would make sense. So rather than just opening it up, since the whole NIL rulings, that's been something that you know I I think there's a lot of companies that, or it's almost like a form you fill out and then you can
Hmm.
say that you're an ambassador. But
Yeah.
we're looking for, kind of what we see, like a little bit of a spitting image of who we were on the college campus, just a passion for sports, for relationships, and kind of the understanding that they do have a platform. So, um, just recently we signed the UMaine hockey captain, David Brazil, and he's just a stand-up guy that we're really excited about, especially with our story starting on the campus of
Yeah.
UMaine. Um, but he's a guy that he's a great player on the ice, contributing, but he's a even better guy off the ice, and that's important to us. Just that people see that we celebrate, the work kind of behind the scenes,
Hmm.
because I think that's what really makes people relatable and admirable too. People want to be like people that no, not everyone's going to be super gifted or talented in a sport, but everyone can treat people with kindness and live a life of character and integrity. So that's been like fun to just find athletes in the respective sports that our target audiences. So
And
but
it's your alma mater, right? Yours and your brother's, which is pretty cool. Do you guys have anyone from Rutgers out of curiosity? Got to get
we
Scott's alma mater in there, right?
yeah, so actually he just graduated, but Ross Scott, he's a lacrosse player
Nice.
um from Rutgers. He interned with us a couple summers ago.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
Um so which that was super fun, but he, was a tremendous player and same story, stand-up guy, and has, is continuing to play professional lacrosse. But yeah, it's great to build a relationship with an athlete in the college age and just see them continue to grow and chase their dreams.
That is awesome, man. I love how you guys are looking at it, just like the whole company, obviously, the partnerships, it's all coming from that, again, that place of authenticity. What means most to you and your partners, your brother, obviously, and Scott, as we've spoken about, and you're able to really just kind of, those roots are deep. Like that is
Right.
everything about the company. And I think that's always going to win out. It's very easy to look flashy, do cool things, and, kind of be all over the place, but you guys are sticking to that mission, being driven by that purpose, that passion behind it. I think that is awesome. So what's next? Like you got all these teams, you got some leagues, you got some athletes. Like, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not going to sit here and say the NFL's on the table because you probably need like $1 billion. Hopefully one day you guys have it. But like, what are some of the other things that you guys are looking at? Some of the other areas that maybe you can start to branch out in, that you can find more people that can connect with what you guys are trying to do.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yeah, what we're most excited about is we've put in, 12 months of just building a new product line in the retail space. So we've actually, as we've built our brand up through the custom space, we feel like now we're at a point where people that really resonate with our message of living a life of passion, conviction, perseverance, and claiming your crown can have a brand that's purpose driven that they could wear just on the daily. So getting back to having the tees, the hoodies, the shorts, the joggers, the hats, with our logo on it and just being like that everyday brand that people can wear. So, um, later this fall, we're going to be, releasing this line for our first step into this kind of retail space. So it's going to be available on our website. The plan is to kind of start in the .com world, and then with hopes of building the brand up, and hopefully seeing people really take a liking to it, and getting the products in stores down the road. So we know, like, the company is going to be whatever God wants it to be ultimately, but we just feel like we've seen so many amazing doors open through people wearing it, telling their story, and to have a brand out there that is purpose driven, um, and building a premium product that's being priced at a great value too. That's kind of how we're positioning it, premium, best in class value, where people can get something that feels like an elite product, but at a good price, and know that there's a good message behind it, that's right in line with whatever they're doing to chase their dreams on the daily. So excited to just see what comes with that. Building a brand is definitely not an easy thing, but I think when it's authentic to who you are as a person, people can sense that, and hopefully they're excited about it.
I love it. When does it drop? Do you have a date, or at least you said later this
So
fall?
no-
Do you have a month for me at least?
November is when
Okay.
we're gonna start to put some stuff out. So just in
All right.
time for that.
I was gonna say my birthday's November 5th. I know what I'm asking my wife for. That's an easy one, dude.
Yeah, yeah, I gotta get you in some stuff.
Love it, dude. Awesome, Garrett. This has been absolutely fantastic. Really, like I really appreciate your, again, I keep using the word authenticity, but that's where I always come back to, right? Like the authentic nature of what you guys have been able to build, the cool way you've been able to build it, right? Little by little, piece by piece. And then, there's just those couple big hits that it's like, oh shit, okay. Now we're leveling up. And I think that's just so cool. I always love talking to people like yourself that have just great stories like that. So appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Michael. It's been awesome to just be on here, and you're a lot of fun to talk with. So
Thank you.
thank
I like to think I'm okay. Only 400 or 500 of these deep. I like to think I'm okay at least
you.
at best. But no, man, sincerely, this has been great. Garrett Bernardo. Socials, website, give us all that stuff. I'll put everything in the show notes for everyone as well.
Yeah, so claimyourcrown.com is where you can find us online, and then Novice Clothing Co. So at Novice Clothing Co. is our
Let's
Instagram.
spell novice for everybody.
NOVUS Clothing,
Clothing Co.
HING Co.
Love
CL.
it.
So
Perfect. Yeah, I'll put that in the show notes for everyone. Sincerely, man, Garrett Bernardo, one more time, CEO of Novice. Time's the only thing we don't get more of. So I really appreciate you giving me some of yours. I appreciate the audience for giving us some of theirs. But other than that, man, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.
thank you. Appreciate it. Claim your crown.